Hey everybody, Dr. Phil here. So this is going to be a video on analyzing and charting financial data in Microsoft Excel. All right, so charts show trends or relationships in data that are easier to see in a graphic representation rather than viewing the actual numbers or data. You know, everybody knows the old saying, right? A picture is worth a thousand words, and it certainly is true. Now, Excel has more than 60 types of charts organized into the 10 categories described. So within each chart category, a chart variations called chart subtypes. You can also design custom chart types to meet your specific needs. So creating a chart. So you select the range of, like the cell range containing the data you want to chart. On the Insert tab, so just click the Insert tab in the Charts group, click the Recommended Charts button, or a button representing the general chart type, and then click the chart you want to create. Or you can just click Quick Analysis, go to Charts, and then click the chart you want to create. On the Chart Design tab in the Location group, click the Move Chart button, select whether to embed the chart in a worksheet or place it in a chart sheet, and then just click OK. Now we can use the chart sheet, the tools to format the appearance of individual chart elements. So this is in the Chart Tools tool. So exploring chart types and subtypes. So a pie chart is a chart in the shape of a circle, basically a pie, divided into slices like pie. Each slice represents a single value from a data series. Larger data values are represented with bigger pie slices. The relative sizes of the slices let you visually compare the data values and see how much each contributes to the whole. Pie charts are most effective with 6 or fewer slices and when each slice is large enough to view easily. So 6 or more is probably a good rule. The data displayed in a chart come from a data source, which includes one or more data series and a set of category values. The data series is the actual values that are plotted on the chart. The charts category in the Quick Analysis tool displays chart types that are appropriate for the selected data source. Now, inserting a pie chart within the Quick Analysis tool, so after you select an adjacent range to use as a chart's data source, the Quick Analysis tool will appear. Quick Analysis tool includes a category for creating charts. The chart category lists recommended chart types, the charts that are most appropriate for the data source you selected. So different, depending on, if you have a different data selection, it might come up with some other recommendations for you. Now, moving and resizing charts. Excel charts are either placed in their own chart sheets or embedded in a worksheet. When you create a chart, it's embedded in a worksheet that contains the data source. So selecting the chart displays one, a selection box, which is used to move or resize the chart, and also displays sizing handles, which are used to change the chart's width and height. Pie slices do not need to be fixed within the pie. An exploded pie chart moves one slice away from the others, as if someone were taking the piece away from the pie. Exploded pie charts are useful for emphasizing one category above the others. So here we can kind of see an example, right? So we have the chart contextual tabs appear when a chart is selected. Over here, you see chart design and format. The reference name of the selected chart is here, which you can also change that. The embedded pie chart within selection handles around the chart, so you can see here. So you can kind of move this up and down to make it bigger or smaller. Pay attention to the aspect ratio, obviously, when you do that. The chart elements button is the plus sign. If you want to filter, you can use the sort of the little filtering thing here, little funnel. And then we also have a chart styles button as a little paintbrush, so you can adjust the style. So that's obviously more aesthetic. Okay, working with chart elements. So every chart contains elements that can be formatted, added to the chart, or removed from the chart. The chart elements button is used to add, remove, and format individual elements. When you add or remove a chart element, the other elements will resize to fit in that space. So you don't have to do that. Live preview shows how changing an element will affect the chart's appearance. So you can use a live preview, take a look at it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. So here we can kind of see an example, right? So we have the plot area in white. We have our vertical axis title and horizontal, so growth from 10K and year. We got our grid lines. We've got the legend here, the blue and the green, SNRFD and the S&P 500. And then obviously the chart, you can see the data depiction itself. All right, so each element listed in the Chart Elements button contains a submenu of common formatting choices, such as the placement of data labels relative to the position of the data marker or the pie slice. The one way of modifying the chart layout is to choose a predefined layout from the Quick Layout button on the Chart Design tab. Now, choosing a chart style. When you create a chart, the chart is formatted with a style, a collection of formats. In the pie chart created, the format of the chart title, the location of the legend, and the colors of the pie slices are all part of the default style. Now you can quickly change the appearance of a chart by selecting a different style from the chart styles gallery. And then again, live preview will show you how the effect on the chart style would affect it. So you can accept it, or you can just not accept it, and then it'll just go right back to what you had before, without needing to undo it. Changing the color scheme. So a pie slice is an example of a data marker that represents a single data value from a data series. You can format the appearance of individual data markers to make them stand out from the others. Pie slice colors should be as distinct as possible to avoid confusion. Depending on the printer quality or the monitor resolution, it might be difficult to distinguish between similarly coded or colored slices or data. Line charts are typically used when the data consists of values drawn from categories that follow a sequential order at evenly spaced intervals. Like column charts, a line chart can be used with one or more data series. When multiple data series are included, the data values are plotted on different lines with varying line colors. And you can modify the axis labels and tick marks to change which category values are displayed in the chart. Now, each value from a data series is represented by a data marker. So an individual pie slices if you're using a pie chart, obviously columns if you're using, a column chart or a histogram, and then points if you're connecting it by a line in a line chart. So here, again, you can kind of see the example, right? The data marker is the white circle, so all these little white circles, represent our actual data points. Now, what if you want to create a combination chart? So a combination chart combines two chart types within a single chart. This enables you to show two sets of data using the chart type that's best for each data set. You can have data series with vastly different values, and you can create dual axis charts using primary and secondary axes. So as an example here, right, we've got our sort of bar chart, histogram here. We've got our combination chart subtypes at the top here, so you can kind of select one of those. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. There we go. You got a preview of the combination chart here. So again, we've got sort of the histogram. We've also got the lines above it, sort of superimposed on it. You can leave the unselected to plot the price values against the primary axis. You don't have to do that. That's up to you. Um, and then the line here will display the price data series in the line chart. So you could hit that and just select something else, and it would, adjust the preview above. Um, so where it says shares traded in the cluster column, this displays the shares traded data series in the cluster column chart. Again, you can adjust that as well. Okay, working with primary and secondary axes. So when a chart has primary and secondary vertical axes, it's helpful to identify exactly what each axis is measuring. So you can add an axis title, a descriptive text that appears next to the axis to the chart. You can also add, remove, and format axis titles if you so desire. All right, so adding an axis title. With the chart still selected, click the Chart Elements button, then just click the axis titles check down. It's going to be further down below. Click the axis title next to the primary axis and add your title, then press Enter. Click the axis title along the bottom axis, type the title, then press Enter. Click axis title next to the secondary axis. You just change the title and then just press Enter again, and it will take care of it. If you want to edit a value axis scale, you can certainly do that. Now, it's worth noting that Excel automatically chooses the range of values or the scale used on the value primary and secondary axis. Excel also automatically divides the scale into regular intervals marked on the axis with tick marks and labels. Major tick marks identify the main units on the chart axis, while minor tick marks identify the smaller intervals between the major tick marks. And then a little bit about a scatter chart, because these are pretty popularly used in Excel. So a scatter chart plots two data series of numeric values against each other. The scatter charts are widely used in science and engineering applications when investigators want to discover how two numeric variables are related. Scatter charts comparing rates to volatility are usually centered at a point representing a balance between the two. So again, scatter charts are pretty good. That's one of my favorite tools, I think in Excel, as far as visually depicting data. Very useful, very easy to read. And then yeah, here's an example of one right here. So again, high return, low volatility. You can kind of see the quadrants that we've got here. We've got the return rates plotted against the vertical axis. We've got volatility plotted against the horizontal axis. And then we have, so an investment with high return and high volatility is obviously up in this upper right quadrant. And then similarly, an investment with low return but high volatility is in the bottom right quadrant. All right, so just a quick video there for you. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in a future video.